A proper reading of the Quran reveals that jihad is a spiritual struggle during which a Muslim attempts to rise to a higher plane of consciousness by slaughtering unbelievers, raping their women, taking over their civilizations, and persecuting and oppressing them until they're all dead.
So that was the Daily Wire's Andrew Klavan explaining the concept of Islamic Jihad. Andrew spoke at Stanford University on Tuesday, and the administration was not too happy. The school referenced that video, a segment of which I just showed, with the Vice Provost for Student Affairs and Dean for Religious Life claiming that Andrew distorts the tenets of the Muslim faith, equating Islam with violence and barbarism, and expressing dismay with the event happening during the month of Ramadan. So we're not allowed to criticize an ideology for one entire month per year? And that's the other thing, Andrew's not criticizing Islam as a religion, but rather political Islam. Islam as it's performed as an ideology. This is also why, quite frankly, there's a good case for not making religion a protected class. Activists often try to conflate religion, ideology, and race, suggesting that being anti-terror attacks, anti-beheading gays, etc. means you have a problem with people who have a different god or a different skin color. It's all smoke and mirrors, but anyways, the Stanford administrators also said, "We understand it can be deeply frustrating and painful to see speakers invited to campus whose ideologies disparage members of our community." Good. If there are people who sympathize with jihad on campus, I think they might deserve just a bit of disparagement. Acknowledging this pain, we nonetheless encourage you to look beyond the sensationalism of speakers whose currency is controversy to the examples of people joining together across difference and standing in solidarity even in the face of hatred and slander. And then they bring up the recent terror attacks against Muslims, Christians, and Jews. See, that's how they keep this jig up. They have to suggest that criticizing radical Islam is going to somehow lead to mosque shootings. Now, Stanford didn't cancel Andrew's speech, and he's not the first political commentator to go there, but other speakers have gotten slightly different treatments. For instance, I don't think Stanford condemned remarks made by Omar Barghouti, a co-founder of the Boycott, Divest, Sanction movement, when he spoke at the California school a few years ago. And hey, given the choice between the university disavowing me and some other obstacles conservative speakers have experienced there, I think I'd take the disavowal. 2 years ago, protesters at Stanford occupied a ton of seats at a speech given by Robert Spencer of Jihad Watch. When they did a mass walkout shortly after Robert started speaking, Stanford admins apparently refused to let an overflow crowd of people who actually wanted to see the conservative speaker into the event. And then, of course, there's the funding angle. Stanford's student government refused to grant $6,000 to host Dinesh D'Souza. The college Republicans did apparently ask for over $1,600 for alcohol, but the amount they initially got was nowhere close to either, with the group instead receiving $16.50. The cost of a train ticket from the school to San Francisco International Airport and back. They had to go through an appeal process to get more. Yeah, I think I'd take the condemnation over those two fiascos. For Campus Unmasked, I'm Rob Shimshock. If you like this video and support our mission, please make sure to comment and subscribe. If something happens on your campus and you'd like us to investigate, send us details using the form on campusunmasked.com.